What is up, guys? It is the Bluebloods here, back with another interview. And man, listen, these interviews tend to be 15, 20 minutes, but I could probably spend 15 minutes going over this guy's just career honors, awards, everything. Let's just run through him. He was a consensus All-American last year, a Buck Buchanan Award finalist, which is given to the best FCS defensive player. He was named the Phil Steele National Defensive Player, first team Southland Conference, first team All Louisiana, Southland Defensive Player of the Year, Louisiana Defensive Player of the Year, All Academic and Student Athlete of the Year for the SLC. We got Isaiah Chambers with us today, and man, I appreciate you coming on the show.
I appreciate you having me, Zach.
Absolutely, man. So you were a huge recruit out of high school, man. One of the best players coming out of Texas. You had scholarship offers from all over the country, man. What teams were recruiting you the hardest as you were coming out of high school?
Coming out of high school, probably was TCU, Baylor, A&M, Houston, and I want to say Ole Miss was recruiting me pretty hard too.
Oh man, what a list! You decide to commit to TCU, man. Why did you decide to initially commit to them, and what kind of played into your decision to transfer out of TCU?
I really liked it. The coaches up there at TCU, they got a great defensive mind coach. It was close to home. It just felt like home up there. So I went there after a year, and I transferred to be closer to my parent guardian who was sick at the time, was still sick, going through dialysis and stuff like that. So I decided to come back to Houston to be closer to home.
Man, hey, you gotta make those decisions, man. And you commit to Houston. What made you play with some of the best defensive players, man, that show out in the AAC? What made you to decide to transfer from Houston to McNeese State?
Uh, I pretty much wanted a better role, bigger and better role. I led the team in sacks both years I was there, so I was like, man, like I want to just be that guy. So I got in the porter after I graduated, and McNeese was the good fit. I liked the coaches and the scheme and the setup they had for me. So I decided to come to McNeese.
Hey, and it paid off, man. You're named the Southland Defensive Player of the Year, Phil Steele Defensive Player of the Year, man. How did it feel to get all these awards, man? How did it feel to get all this recognition? And do you feel like you deserve the Buchanan Award after last year?
It definitely feel good to get all the awards. Like after just being down so long, just watching other people shine, which is good. Just always knowing that the abilities and knowing what you were capable of doing, but not being able to do them. It was just fun to finally just after my fifth year, finally being able to just show out and no injuries, no issues, just ball out. That was fun to do. And yeah, I also feel like I did deserve the award. The guy who won it was very deserving. His stats was crazy, but I definitely got a chance to win it again this year.
Absolutely, man. You're one of the favorites. And, I want to kind of take a step back, man. Let's look at your career as a whole. How much has your game evolved, and how has it evolved since that freshman year at TCU to now being a 6-year guy, leader of McNeese State?
Definitely got better in the run game, allowing me to just learn how my how my body needs to be treated. Just take care of your body, learn how to eat right. I pretty much just got it figured out now and just dominate, just ready to dominate.
Hey, and you are dominating on the field, man. Looking at yourself as a player, what do you think are your biggest strengths that you bring to the defensive line?
I feel like I'm one of the best pass rushers in the nation on any level, no matter what game I played in, no matter how many reps I got. I always was the best pass rusher on the field and best win percentage anytime I'm on the field. So I feel like pass rushing is my best asset, defeating the hands and working moves on anybody.
Right? I mean, and what kind of clicked? So it's like I was looking at, watching the film, looking at the stats. You had a sack in every single of like the last half of y'all schedule, and it kicked off with that 3-sack performance, man. What kind of click from the beginning of the season toward the end of this year?
Uh, Beginning of the season, kind of just getting my feet underneath me, I never played that many reps. I think I was playing like 50, 60 reps. Kind of started off a little slow, not as good as I wanted to, but just having trust in myself and confident that I'm the best player on the field when I step on the field.
Absolutely, man. So looking at your game, you ain't got to give up all your trade secrets. I
Like,
understand. What's one thing that you're like looking at yourself as a player and you're like, man, if I can just correct this one thing, man, I'll be complete. Like, what's one thing you think you could take your next game to the next level?
uh, I definitely feel like I guess we all can get better at the run. I could play that better. If I could play the run I'm not a bad run stopper, but if I play the run just as I play the pass, would be it would be that would be just very good. And basically just trusting self on some of my rushes, trusting my speed. I feel like sometimes I'm working moves inside when I feel like I could get him beat on the edge or I could beat him on the edge. And just trusting myself on the edge.
I like it, man. So I know preparation at this level is so unique, so strenuous. How much film do you study during the week of your opponent, your matchup for that week, just going into game day? How many hours of film, how many days of film study do you put into it?
I pretty much can't put like a number of hours, but pretty much I just watch the tackles that I'm about to play. Sometimes I pull up their last year film. Sometimes I pull up their huddle from high school. I just videotape it, put it on my phone, and watch their clips like whenever I get some free time or just whenever I'm just hanging around or I want to be on social media. I just pull up clips of their film and stuff like that. And then of course we watch film with the team. So I watch film with the team, then I watch the tackle and how he got beat. Even sometimes I even watch his high school stuff.
Oh man, going all the way back to high school. So, guys, if you're out there as an offensive tackle, you're not safe. If you had a bad play in high school, he's going to know about it. But when you're looking at an offense, man, when you're looking at an offensive tackle, what are the biggest things that you look for in how they play?
I try to see basically where their shoulders turn in on pass it, if their shoulders towards to the sideline a lot, how they handle speed rushes. I like to see when they get beat inside. I look at the tendencies from their foot and their hands. If they give it a pass tip away. I look at all that type of stuff.
Oh man, I'm so interested in how you guys prepare for each week because I know each opponent's so different. And last year for McNeese State was a good year. There was a lot of what ifs, though. Just like you had like an overtime loss. Played Sam Houston State, who ended up going to win the national title, very close. So I had a chance to win that one. What are the team goals going into this 2021 season for McNeese State?
We basically want to win the Southland Conference. Compete with everybody we play. We're getting bigger, stronger, and faster. We added some guys. We just want to and get revenge back. We feel like this is like a revenge tour. We lost some close games, probably lost some games we should never lost to. We just want to play everybody back and show them what we could do.
Hey, I like it, man. I know you're a team first guy, so I started out with that one. But I know on the inside, man, everyone's got those personal goals that drive you day in and day out. What are some of your personal goals for the 2021 season?
Personal goals, of course, I want to repeat and get Southland Defensive Player of the Year, if not MVP of the conference. I feel like I can do that. And then I want to, of course, get All-American again and win the Buck Buchanan Award. I feel like I'm the best defensive player in FCS, so I got to show it. So I get another chance, thankfully, and get drafted at the end of the day, too, as well.
Absolutely, man. Hey, I know Jim Nackey for the Senior Bowl has been shouting you out as one of the top FCS players in the country. So hopefully we can see you down there, man. That's my hometown in Mobile, so we'll be covering that. So I'm hoping to see you down there. But I know the first game's the most important, man. And when you look at the schedule, is there a game on the schedule you're circling and you're like, man, I cannot wait for that game? So, like, what game on your schedule are you looking forward to the most?
Of course, I like to play every game. They say, no game's bigger than the other one. Especially, everybody want to play LSU. Like, that's prime
Oh,
time
yeah.
school. That's everybody's dream school in the state of Louisiana. Of course, in Texas, we got like A&M in Texas, but Louisiana, it's everybody's dream school down here. So, who wouldn't want to play against them? They just won a national championship. Like, so that probably be the game I'm looking forward to right there, LSU.
Oh man, I that game's gonna be so exciting. My co-host is actually out of town right now. He lives in Baton Rouge, big LSU guy. So I always get interested. So for you, does a game like that? is that like do you go into that game saying like, man, I got to show out just a little bit more because I know that if I show out on this stage against these guys on this team, man, they can't deny me.
Yeah, for sure. Of course, everybody gonna say no. They say the same cliche stuff. No, no game is more important. Treat. But of course, yeah, if you're a competitor and you feel like you the man or you feel like you good, you of course gonna have a little extra chip on your shoulder, and you gonna be eager to play LSU. That's how I feel. That's how I'm feeling.
All right, man, I like it. And so, looking at your game as a whole, is there a current or past NFL defensive lineman that you try to model your game after the most? Like, who are your influences and how you play?
I really like Chandler Jones. I love Miles Garrett. I DM Miles Garrett when I was in high school. I love Clowney. I think I DM Clowney when I was in middle school. I really love them guys. Clowney, Miles Garrett, Von Miller. They just freaks. I like them guys.
Hey, man, absolutely. Hey, and who knows, man? You might be teammates with them next year. The whole 9 yards, man. But looking at your game, man, this is just your personal preference. It does have to be your best one, but what is your favorite pass rush move to use in a game?
Uh, that's a good call. I like to hit somebody with the spin every now and then. Try not to do it too much because it's a liability for you getting hit and let them go outside. But I like the spin move every now and then. That's kind of good to add some kind of crazy or just like a little nice finesse move. I like to spin.
Oh, I like it, man. And so, would you consider yourself more of a finesse pass rusher or just like a bull rusher where you're going to go straight through their chest?
Oh yeah, no, I'm not. I could consider finesse. I like the pass rush. I think it's art. Like I think just the moves is nice. Like the stuff you can do. It's like having a crossover on a defender. So yeah, I would say finesse. But I also can bull rush and power, and I probably need to do that more this upcoming season.
Hey man, I'm looking forward to. I'm ready to see some offensive linemen start rolling backwards against you, man. But looking at in just in game, you're coming off the ball. An offensive lineman does this thing. Like, what can an offensive lineman do coming off the ball where you're like, oh, you're beat? Like I know, like you stand too high, like your footwork's off. Like, what do you look for an offensive lineman where you're like, oh, the quarterback's going on this one?
Let me think. Really, if they don't get back fast enough, they're screwed from the beginning. Which a lot of tackles get back fast as they can, and if they shoot their hands to me too fast or they trying to hit me in my chest, that's not gonna happen. So that's pretty much like when they come to hit me from my chest, yeah, it's over with.
I like it, man. So, we see like I feel like it's always been done, but I feel like it's been getting a lot of like publicity due to Aaron Donald training with the knives, and we see a lot of players taking like taekwondo and hand-to-hand combat to get their hand movement. Do you like? Do you feel like hand training like that is necessary and like more important than even maybe training your footwork now? And like, how much hand training do you do?
Yeah, I feel like the hand training, the hand eye coordination is important. And you defeat the hands, you defeat the man. So I like getting them faster and more powerful, and just being able to when you place your hand somewhere and your eyes follow, it brings you more power. So I think yeah, that's very important. And I also started boxing probably like 2 weeks ago. So I'm getting into boxing. I started in Houston, so I'm gonna start again. I got a broader boxing bag too, so I'm gonna start here in Lake Charles as well.
Oh man, they are ready for that, man. You just won Southland Defensive Player of the Year, man. You go out here and train boxing. I'll be popping dudes. I'm excited, but
Yeah.
looking at your career, man. You've played at TCU, you've played at Houston, you've played at McNeese State. Who is the best offensive lineman that you've ever faced one on one?
Probably the best offensive lineman is probably Jared Williams from he was at Houston, now he's at TCU. No, he was at Houston, now he's at Miami. Excuse me.
Oh man, I like it. And so, what's the biggest game that you've ever played in your career?
Biggest game. I'm trying to think. Biggest game. I don't know. Well, I guess we played Tulsa, 2019. Uh, it was like the second to last game of the season. We went out there. It was very cold. It was a tough game, and I played. I ended up playing. I played that game. I played 15 snaps, and I had 3 sacks. So I had a sack for
Oh
every.
man.
And to end the game, to seal the game, I had a forced fumble on the quarterback to end the game. So that probably was the biggest game.
Oh man, 15 snaps, you got 3 sacks, just killing them, man. I like it. And so, I know that you look inside, like just teammates that like motivate you. You're like, man, he's out here doing it. It's got to help me step my game up. Who's the best defensive lineman teammate that you've had where you're like, man, I need to elevate my game to compete with him?
Oh yeah, that's definitely Ed Oliver. He plays for the Bills now. Ninth overall pick. He was everything he do at full speed. He's strongest in the weight room, pretty much the quickest on the field. He do everything full speed. He first in everything he do. So when you see a guy like that, you see the awards he got, and you see his success. It's like you gotta copy that. You gotta do what he did to get where he was, to get where he is now.
Hey man, I like it. Hey, and the Bills need a DN
Oh
real
yeah,
bad. They need a DN, so maybe.
yeah.
But last question here, man. You're going to be one of the top FCS prospects coming out in this next year's draft. Arguably the best defensive one that is coming out. If an NFL franchise has to ask you this, if they ask what they're getting in Isaiah Chambers, what are you telling them?
They're getting a very hardworking player. Fights for his team, competing every down. He wants to win. He can definitely get after the quarterback for you better than anybody, I feel like, and win better than anybody. And when I step on the field, I feel like I'm the best player on the field when I'm on there.
Hey man, absolutely, and I'll be rooting for you this year, man. I'm hoping to see you down at the Senior Bowl when we cover that Mobile. We'll catch back up, man. Talk about McNeese this year. Talk about the NFL and what's going down there in the Senior Bowl. But this is your time, man. What's your social media handles? Who do you want to give shout outs to? This time's yours, man.
My social media handles is ESTA underscore GUAPO. That's Este Guapo. And I just want to give a shout out to my boys at McNeese, and we're just gonna keep training hard and let everybody know that we coming this year.
Oh man, I'm hoping to see you on the FCS playoffs this year, man. Ready to see you racking up sacks and tackles this year, man. So I'll be keeping up with you, man. We'll get back together after the season, after y'all make a big run, win the Southland this year. We'll get you back on the show, man. But guys, make sure to go follow Isaiah on all social media platforms. Make sure to follow McNeese football this year. Make sure to follow Isaiah as he makes his transition to the NFL next year, man. We'll all be big fans here. Y'all know where to find us, man. Subscribe on YouTube now, any and all podcast streaming platforms. But for Isaiah, the Blue Bloods, and myself, man, we are out.
Thank you.